Hey, at least 4 trucks didn't show up at the same time, so that's good. Alright, just spoke with the gravel scheduler, and within the hour, they will be here. So to summarize where we are so far is we have applied driveway fabric to the drive. It's an experimental experimental idea that I had of taking 2 6-foot sections and overlapping them in the center down the course of the drive. So it went together well. Now I will say that when I started driving the skid steer on the fabric, I did notice that there's a lot of pulling. The ground is fairly wet. I mean, it's been raining, but there's not much I can do about that. So that the ground is fairly wet and sinks in, and as it sinks in, the fabric tends to pull. And I don't know if that's going to be an issue. I don't know if this is going to be a complete mess, or the fabric's not going to work properly. I just don't know. But that's why we're sharing it with you, so that even if I make a mistake, it's helpful to you, and you can, take that information and run with it. So anyway, so we've put the fabric down. I've ordered number 3 stone for the driveway. Now that's I believe it's a typical base grade, or often used for construction, because it's a larger stone. It's 2 to 3 inches or so in width. As a larger stone, it forms a nice base onto which later you can put a finer grade of stone. If you put the finer grade of stone right away, you run the risk of losing it all to the ground. It just kind of will sink in. Again, I've never done a driveway before, so this is kind of experimental for me, this whole thing. And I'm just reading as much as I can and trying to figure it out and piece together information and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Anyway, I've got to get the camera equipment. We're going to document this so that hopefully it'll be helpful for you. I'm going to set up my camera equipment and we'll see how it goes. I'm just hoping for the best, and I'm hoping that this can help you. So he's slipping and sliding. So he's going to try to back in, dump a little gravel there, and see if that helps it. Alright, you may not have noticed, but that didn't go very well. You know, you live and learn, right? So the delivery driver was cool. He was helpful. He even got out and shoveled with me for a bit, which was nice of him. Didn't have to do that. He could have just turned around and after that first try to get up the hill and just said forget about it. And maybe we should have done that. But we got a load down, and I think that's important. Well, I mean it's a step, right? I got about 80 to 100 feet up the driveway, and it's up the steepest slope. I have to distribute that by hand now, that very large rock gravel. So I'm gonna have to jump on that. But what do you learn from this? I mean, I should have pushed it off to, I should have pushed it off to next week and hoping that I would get some dry days in between. But I didn't, because I really wanted to get this done by, in my time, by the weekend. I really, really wanted to have that done. And so when I brought the skid steer back to Oleg, the rental dude, I knew this was going to be a possibility, having an issue getting up that hill, because it was soft yesterday, and I kind of suspected that it was going to be an issue. But I didn't trust my gut, and I just kind of went forward. So I learned that, it was about 2 days it's been about 2 days since that horrendous downpour. 2.5 days. So it's really only had 2 days to dry. But with the landscape fabric, even without the landscape fabric, I mean, it's soft everywhere on the property. So 2 days isn't enough. That's one thing. Yeah. The second thing is the landscape fabric. I mean, it was a cascading problem, because it was soft. So as soon as the tires started sinking, they gripped whatever they could. The fabric is more grippy than clay, because what we have here is clay that is a little moisture and it gets super slippery. So then you grip the fabric and pull the fabric, so that didn't work. That was kind of just a waste. But it was a good idea, but practically speaking, it was not ever going to work, given the moisture on the ground. So here we are. But we do this, I mean, why do we do this? I guess we're doing this for the adventure, but we're also doing this for to help people, I guess, I mean, so we have these problems, and then the next thing, you don't have these problems because you saw us having problems. It's going to help you, I hope. If you're wanting to put in a driveway on a slope with a clay-based soil, then you're going to have 5-6 days, dry days beforehand, which is really hard to get, because we here in our location, we have sporadic rains often. I mean, it's very green here. I don't know if you can see, we're on the East Coast, and it's just, we get a lot of, I think it's 50 inches per year of rain, average, between 40 and 60. So I think that's quite a bit. And so we get rain every other day, basically. And to find 5 or 6 days of dry weather in between is not always easy. But I needed to be patient there. So at any rate, we're going to keep moving. I will spread this out by hand, this giant rock gravel by hand, and then we'll have 80 feet. We'll have the first 80 feet down, graveled, and then only 380 to worry about. So, 370 to worry about. There you go. No problem. All right, well, that's today. Thank you very much for watching.